Back again is Sampson, driven by Dan Patrick. You remember, this is the first time he's ever driven a monster truck, coming from a professional drag racing background. I gotta tell you, that's a real pretty looking truck.
I'll tell you, Don Maples out of Alabama and the Sampson line of Chevrolets that he's had over the years have always been one of the absolute favorites with the Chevy fans. For that matter, with any fans. Mainly because of the workmanship that you pointed out, Shelley. These things are always immaculate, whether it's the paint, the chrome treatment, or even just the general assembly of the frame and the engine itself. They are always absolutely immaculate pieces of equipment. Well, we saw Dan in the first round take a pretty hard launch over that first set of cars. He has really yet, in his first night of competition, even in the preliminaries, to make a full run all the way around full throttle. Maybe this will be the one he's looking for, Shelley.
Well, they're almost ready for him.
He's about ready to jump on that loud pedal.
Dan Hodgson.
There he goes.
Into the first set of cars. Completely airborne, hard launch, but Dan's not going to get out of the throttle. This is a lot different than making a 200-foot pole in a multi-engine tractor. There's no question. Dan actually makes a good turnaround, a little sideways, but now makes the second hit of cars, bouncing all over the place, lands very nicely and takes it across the finish line. That's the best run he's had yet, Shell.
You know, I noticed that just as he was getting ready to crush the second group of cars, he really seemed to get a speed up.
That was one of the first times that he actually made the turn correctly, I should say. And you can't blame the guy. It takes a long time to learn how to operate one of these trucks. As you can see on the slow-mo replay, the initial hit kind of came down. The nose came down very quickly, and that created that bounce situation that you say. He finally got all four wheels down on the ground. Dan wasn't afraid to nail the throttle again. Like we said before, though, you have to give this guy credit. After years of making truck and tractor pull passes, this guy's driving experience coming into this event consisted of him driving it off the trailer. 21.05 seconds. Well, here's one for the Ford fans. The young man we talked about earlier, Mike Vodders, out of Hagerstown, Maryland, a little town in the center part of the state. Well known for 75-80 dragway and a couple of some of the strongest circle tracks in the eastern seaboard. Mike Vodders' beautiful black Stallion Ford, Shelley, I think you'll agree, is one of the cleanest monster trucks you will ever see.
You know, I saw them outside earlier, and it rained a little bit, and they were out there cleaning it up. I don't think it was just for the fans. I think it was for their own sense of pride.
Yes, very much. It's a great analogy. Pride is the name of the game with Michael Vodders, whether it's in the appearance or the performance of this truck. Using a cast iron production Ford motor, Black Stallion, a tremendous launch over the first set of cars. This young man wants a spot in the final round against Bigfoot more than anything. Makes the turn nicely, brings it up to the second set of cars. Another tremendous launch, a little sideways landing, bouncing around in the cockpit.
Great run!
Man, you can't beat that kind of performance. The crowd obviously responding to that kind of showmanship.
Yeah!
And Mike responding right back. There's a smile on that face underneath that Simpson helmet.
I can see the smile with the helmet on.
That's right. Mike has got to be happy with that. The elapsed time to beat in this round still 19.38 seconds by Jesse Berg's beautiful Playing for Keeps Chevrolet. And here's the elapsed time, 18.22 seconds. On the slow-mo, you can see this second hit, Shelley, one of the hardest of the event. Mike leaning out the window, never even thinks about lifting off the throttle.
Well, he's sure hanging on to the rear-view mirror over there, too.
Well, you can see on that bounce, that thing was almost out of control. Look at him being thrown around in the cockpit. But listen to the crowd. The quickest elapsed time of the event, 18.22 seconds. Shelley, that is 0.2 of a second quicker than even Bigfoot ran in the first round. On the front of the machine, it says the best of both worlds. And I guess that's about an accurate description for a Nissan King Cab body with Chevrolet motivation. Shelley, this is the second run for Kevin Dabney, 29-year-old young man who has been involved in monsters of some sort or another for a solid 5 years now.
I think Alien recruited a few new fans after his first run today.
An amazing piece of equipment considering the fact that it doesn't use a 500 or 600 cubic inch big block engine. It's a small block, 388 cubic inch Chevrolet mounted in the bed of this Nissan cab. Leaving the starting line, another high-speed hit. And Dabney lands solidly with a lot of smoke coming out from behind the driver. You can see on the right bank of cylinders some problems. Unbelievable launch! Absolutely incredible.
I couldn't believe how high he got on that.
Kevin Dabney Dabney is not afraid to plant his right foot. That man will develop more attack speed than any other truck out there. Here, looking at the second set of cars in the slow-mo replay, no exaggeration, 35 to 40 miles an hour, and putting a 15,000-pound truck literally 25 feet in the air. Look at the landing.
Just think of it.
He sure looks happy with that landing, too.
Man, unbelievable. The mark to beat, 18.22 seconds by the Black Stallion Ford of Mike Botters. But how about this? The Alien, 18 seconds flat. The quickest run of the event by anybody with small block Chevrolet power.
Way to go, Kevin.
Bringing out onto the floor of the Pittsburgh Civic Arena, the incredible barefoot Chevrolet is Freddy Schaefer. And race fans, this may be one of the wildest single monster truck runs of the season. Freddy Schaefer came to this event with one goal, to beat Bigfoot and salvage the Chevrolet fans' reputations. With a mark to beat of 18.00 seconds by the Chevy-powered Nissan called Alien, Freddy Schaefer is going to have to literally floor this truck around the arena floor. He hits the first set of cars. Nice landing, beautifully smooth, bouncing around a little bit on the landing. Now making the turn as tight as he can, lining it up to the second hit. Airborne, unbelievable, on the nose and bouncing across the finish line. Shelley, the only way we're going to find out who's in the final round is when we hear the elapsed time. Look at the crowd. The Chevy fans here tonight love it.
Crazy. You know, he wanted it bad, and he was able to keep his head about him this time.
The elapsed time, as you can, or excuse me, the instant replay, hitting the second set of cars, almost clearing all four machines on the ground. Look at the tires distort when it hits the ground. Look at that, almost down to the rims. He had to beat 18 seconds flat, and the Chevy fans will love it. 16.60 seconds, and it works out just like a Hollywood script, Shelley. Bigfoot versus Barefoot, Ford versus Chevrolet in the championship final.